Which hero do you think you want to be today?
I am Loki, god.
Make way.
I am Loki.
Make way.
I am Loki.
Make way for the King of Thieves.
Now, who am I gonna banish from this match? You'll need a top-notch team to win this one. Before you attack, get ready.
Have you made your decision yet? Do you stand with
Such allegiance between land and sea must be carefully considered.
You are still potent, no matter where you dwell. Would you deny your own people? Careful.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The bombs drawn has certainly seen better days and nights.
It seems we have company.
Invisible?
Just the boost I needed. Double that!
For once, I'm vulnerable.
Oh, you dirt, Frankie. Am I supposed to be a threat?
Keep going!
Ever got double that? Magneto showed the kids how it's done.
Nice work.
You're really fit to be a queen.
I got you covered.
I feel like
Ooh, wait, you hit the spot. Now you do the same for me, we.
Almost there! Don't turn back now!
Just who Gambit we're looking for.
Vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Lucky draw.
you're truly fit to be a queen.
Hey, hitting real hard.
Almost about out.
Lucky draw.
I am invited to Avengers Tower. That is a great.
Just the boost I need. Gambit got your back. Gambit never fall!
Tower swells like the wind.
You're halfway there. Keep going!
A helping hand.
Someone lose it up.
Just who Gambit we're looking for. Gambit never fall!
Disappear!
The moon haunts you. they're stealing Gambit's chance to win.
Gather round.
Get that vehicle moving again!
Ooh, wait! That hit the spot.
I'm easy taken.
Oh, you dirt, Frankie. Am I supposed to be impressed? Double that! The dragon unleashed!
It's clobbering time!
We got you, Herbie. Don't you worry.
They shall not escape our
Almost
wrath.
there! Don't turn back now!
How refreshing! They shall not escape
Now you do the same for me, will you?
Vehicle reached the checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Never fall!
much better.
Judge! Jury! Executioner! Now you do the same for Lucky Draw! Is that really all you got?
There is no one better to protect you than I, little one.
A little help, please.
Damn it!
Disappear! Shield up!
The moon haunts you! How refreshing! Gambit got your balance.
Get that vehicle moving again!
Ooh, wait! That hit the spot.
Don't let anything stand in your way!
Can't keep this Cajun down for long.
Moon Knight's Ankh, I presume?
Never falls!
This is your big chance!
Gambit never falls!
Shields up! Disappear!
Out of sight! Laissez le bon temps brûler. Lucky draw! That is much better. Now you do the same for me, we. Judge! Jury!
You know you're always safe with me, Herbie.
The moon haunts you!
The current score is 3-2-0. Time to switch things up, including which side you're on. You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Make way for the King of Thieves.
Round 2,
This
go!
is almost as fun as pulling a heist. Almost.
before you attack. Get ready.
I don't usually team up with criminal scum like you, LeBeau.
Now, Monsieur le Punisher. I may be a thief, but I also happen to be a gentleman.
Yeah, so's the Kingpin. Doesn't make either of you any less guilty.
Touche. But how about
The
you
battle
save the
starts in
bullets for the
5,
big guy and give
4,
Gambit a chance?
3,
You won't
2,
regret
1.
They look like they... Oh my. Invisible?
Nothing here remains standing. That is much better. Neutralize the Don't our enemy has been spotted. I feel like myself again. Once the sight was awesome. I am strengthening your battle. Double dash!
Gambit got your back.
Feeling fantastic.
What are you aiming at? Just who Gambit will move.
One less off. One less off.
Gambit never falls! Gambit never falls! The moon haunts you!
Shields up!
I'm doing this my way! Yeah, Magneto!
Another bump in the road.
Can't keep this caging down for long.
They've made it halfway! Stop them!
Good medicine.
Better stop that vehicle!
Denizens of the deep.
There's still a chance to stop them!
Ain't nobody stealing Gambit's chance to win.
That is much better.
Invisible?
Now might be a good time to stop them.
Feeling fantastic.
Better stop that vehicle!
What are you aiming at?
I am ready to put on a show!
They've made it halfway! Stop them!
Maximum pulse!
Shields up!
Unleash the facilities mutant kind! The moon!
Pick up your toys, Moon Knight.
No, thank God he's gone. Fuck!
Although it's not clear because later Epstein said that his house is similar to an FBI house.
So he had all the blackmail in his house. Is that what he's
The
saying?
government is not exactly bulletproof. I don't want to give the false impression that it was. But it does raise a bunch of questions. Like Bradley Edwards, one of the victim's lawyers, actually speaks about this in his book. He said that this bodyguard had been sent by Epstein to Virginia to...
Get the hell out of here.
What? A bodyguard? What the fuck?
No, you get out of here.
SCIFs are all parts of the government? Yeah, I've just never even heard of this before.
Nervously telling me the story, the bodyguard said, I don't know why I was there, but he told me they would take care of me. I attended a class for a week.
So, that was
In the class, everyone had to introduce themselves. There were 45 people. 44 were in the CIA or some other government unit with top secret clearance. I was the only private citizen.
Wow.
So clearly there's something, some testimony to the fact that Epstein may have had access to either classified briefings or he had some pool with the CIA. Now we might know about this because there was actually a FOIA to the CIA about Jeffrey Epstein. Ironically, it was from Jeffrey Epstein. This is Jason Leopold saying the Epstein filed FOIA request.
Wait, you can do that?
Documents that would show that he had a, quote, open affiliation with the CIA between 1999 and 2011.
Oh my God.
Documents relating or referring to himself. Epstein did not receive any records. Instead, he got glow marks.
What's that?
Refers to a term that basically they neither confirmed or denied it because they said that doing so would reveal, quote, a classified connection to the CIA, and thus the CIA cannot confirm or deny the existence of records responsive to your request. Therefore, you may consider this portion a denial of your request pursuant to FOIA extension. More specifically, they say we searched the CIA originated responsible records that might reflect an open or otherwise acknowledged agency.
Well, I think this is really what shows everything, right? It's whenever the Thomas Massey and Rokana said that we're going to name the people if you don't name the people, and then they started naming the people. I think what that tells me is that there's a lot of other information that they do have access to, because if that can happen one time, I bet it's happened 50 other times too. It's just that it hasn't come to a head in a public way that people are aware of, right? It's like, again, what I said before about how it's like the tip of the iceberg. With names, that Sultan guy from, I think, the UAE, or it could have been Qatar, I forgot which country, but it's one of those countries. And then also that Wexner guy, who was apparently like the guy that made Victoria's Secret. I'm pretty sure those are the two.
So these are also
the Sultan guy,
we need answers to, but it's hard to get them when everything is treated as a
joke. I didn't have a dash.
It's crazy how nobody cares about this for the, like, it's been shocking to me to see
in a second, I'm in the middle of a rank game. It takes you forever anyways. I just put my wax in my bowl, yeah.
The other side of the politics. That's been it. There's no actual reasoning to it or anything else. It's just them going out there and basically just using it to attack somebody else.
All in all,
secret
it's
anymore.
very
Yeah, it's
frustrating
weaponized.
story to cover, given how
they don't even care about it.
handling the whole story, are engaging with it. They're laughing.
Democrats didn't care for 4 years. No, they didn't.
They're telling us to smile, and in general, they just want us to get over. But I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either. I don't. Give me 1 second. I'll pause this. You kind of predicted this? I did in a way, but like it wasn't really anything. Right? It's Coffeezilla video. Make sure to give it a like. I think his first Epstein video got like 6 or 7.
Yeah, he's gay, but he doesn't even understand gay people. So
now for like 3 or 4 years.
He's literally.
Make sure to give it a like.
He's a fucking.
Very, very, very good video.
He's not an ally, but he's an ally.
This is the worst part about it, and I hate to say this, but I think it's true. I think that nothing is going to change. Really, I don't think that there's going to be any consequences. There's not going to be any sort of like, oh wow, somebody's getting arrested or people are going to jail. I think that you're going to have some temporary embarrassment from a handful of people, and otherwise, besides that, everything else is going to be right back to business as usual. I think that's it. Now, I'm sad to say that, but I think it's true. And are you going to scroll for more of the subreddit today? Yeah, I'll look at a few more things on the subreddit. Why not? But either way, they don't think you're stupid. They think there's nothing you can do. That's right. That is exactly it. Nobody can do anything about this. And so they just go out and let it happen. Yep, there it is. And I feel like in general, it's just going to continue getting more and more open and brazen. I think they're used to it now, right? Because again, if you can get away with like having a child like sex cult on an island and like eating people and shit like this, if you can get away with that, then I feel like you can get away with anything. I mean, let's be honest. Like, I feel like it's true.
Ranger knows that if you're a school custodian, cleanliness is your top priority. That's why you can rely on Ranger for a range of cleaning products and equipment, from disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Ranger, for the ones who get it done.
You already got to the end? No, you're playing on easy difficulty.
Okay, good job. Nice to get the secret off the long road. You like my shirt? It's got a skull on it. It's from the Bone Museum. It's kind of my favorite. Anyway, you think of cemeteries as a place to mourn the dead, not die yourself. But last week in Dallas, Texas, a 24-year-old husband and father lost his life doing exactly what I do for a living, helping families say goodbye. His name was Anthony
kind of.
And on that Monday afternoon, he was preparing a grave at Westland Funeral Home and Cemetery. The kind of quiet, careful work most people never even think about. Setting a burial vault, leveling the ground, making sure everything's perfect before the family arrives. But sometime after 2 o'clock, something went horribly wrong. The concrete burial vault, more than 2,000 pounds of reinforced stone, shifted, and in a matter of seconds, it pinned him from the waist down. I cannot even imagine that panic or terror. Paramedics later said he was conscious when they reached him. Just imagine that. The weight pressing down, the air leaving your lungs, the realization that you can't move. And somehow, through that pain, he reached for his cell phone. He called his wife. She missed the call, but he left her a voicemail, and in it, he...
Jump, jump, jump.
I know that look all too well, Shay. You want to tell me what's going on?
It's just,
But if we gotta be fighting this fight, at least we get to do it side by side.
the battle starts in 5, 4,
Well, I guess isn't that? Oh,
My
wrong
name is
way.
Lauren Mortician, and I have been wanting to expand a little bit more into YouTube and start covering a series that I really wanted to call Funeral Homes That Fucked Up. Legit, that's what I wanted to call it, and I still might, unless you have a better idea. Because at this point, the amount of funeral homes that are constantly fucking up is just insane to me. So today's case is a very recent one that's in the news, and I thought we could just go right into it, okay? So here's episode 1 of Funeral Homes That Fucked Up. Imagine trusting a funeral home with your loved one's final care only to discover the embalmer did something straight out of a horror movie. This is not a gruesome Netflix plot. It really happened in Houston. It just happened. One embalmer's unthinkable actions have mortuary professionals and the public asking, how could someone do that to a deceased person? If you're morbidly curious and are flipping horrified, stick around. Today we're breaking down a shocking Houston embalmer case that has everyone in the funeral industry shaking their heads in total disbelief. So let's start with the facts. In early 2025, a Houston area embalmer named Amber Page Laudermilk, 34, was charged with felony abuse of the corpse after a truly disturbing incident. She was working at Memorial Mortuary and Crematory in Houston, preparing the body of a 58-year-old male, Charles Roy Rodriguez, for cremation. What allegedly happened next is almost too grotesque to believe. Laudermilk is accused of stabbing the deceased man's groin, the special area, the groin, with a
I
scalpel,
gotta make a gambit
partially
background.
cutting off his penis and stuffing it into his mouth.
Oh, she beat me with 52. No way.
I found the Marie Callender's Chicken Parmesan Bowl to be the perfect, delicious frozen meal that also has 30 grams of protein. I'm enjoying mine during some downtime, and now time for you to enjoy yours however you please.
Adios!
heard me right. 100%. You just heard everything I just said right. She mutilated the corpse in her care in about the most appalling way imaginable. But why on earth would an embalmer do such a thing? According to investigators, Laudermilk learned that the deceased was a registered sex offender, and apparently she just lost it. Rodriguez had been convicted of a 2001 sexual assault and was required to register as a sex offender, and somehow she found out. Upon finding out about what he had done in his past, Laudermilk allegedly took vigilante anger out on the lifeless body. She later turned herself into authorities and now faces the consequences of that rash, ghastly decision. Felony abuse of a corpse in Texas is no minor charge. It's a state jail felony that can mean up to 2 years behind bars and a $10,000 fine if she's convicted, which it sounds like there's witnesses, so she's going to be convicted. But in short, a moment of outrageous misbehavior could cost this embalmer her freedom and her career. But I think her career is already over at this point, but it's not looking good. What makes this case even more unbelievable is the context. So Laudermilk wasn't...
Yeah, all the characters are like super
She
powered.
was in the back room with people watching her. In fact, she was teaching an embalming class to trainees that day. That's right. She's an instructor, supposed to be modeling professionalism, and instead, she allegedly turned the prep room into a scene from a slasher flick in front of at least one student, that poor intern. Court documents say that after mutilating the body, she told the horrified trainee, "You didn't see anything," in a threatening tone. I can't say that sounding threatening, but that's what she said. She even attempted to cover up the mutilation with a towel when another staff member walked in, casually saying the deceased had a lot going on with him and just threw a towel over the area. It's hard to decide what's more shocking, the brutal act itself or the fact that she did it during work hours with people around in front of colleagues and thought it was funny and thought she could just pretend it didn't, like, just hush-hush. Talk about a total breakdown of judgment and ethics under the fluorescent lights of the prep room. As a PR professional and any decent human being, let me be clear. This violates every ethical standard in our industry.
If you back out, you can go back.
Trust, if you will. Our job is to care for the deceased with dignity.
Yeah, you can go back for the menu. And you want me to tell you, or are you gonna replay it?
That personal feelings must never.
Yeah, you can go back and replay them. Yeah.
So even if the person on your table led a troubled life or did terrible things, once they are in our care, they are to be treated with compassion and respect. Even if they did something you don't agree with, you still have to respect them. There's like this unofficial motto in funeral service: respect for the dead, empathy for the living. And also, being in the prep room with my own dad, my dad likes to say that there's funeral director heaven and funeral director hell. And we do right by the deceased, you go to heaven. If you do wrong, you go right down to funeral director hell. And I think you can probably assume where I think this lady is going to go. Anyways, her actions blew all of these sayings that we have, these mottos, to smithereens. Mutilating a body out of personal anger is not just unprofessional, it's literally inhumane. Think about it from the embalmer's perspective. We often don't get to choose who comes onto our table. It could be a beloved grandparent, a veteran, a homeless person, or yes, even a convicted criminal. No matter who it is, the rule is the same. You honor the body and prepare it as if it were your own family member, no matter what they did in life. That's the standard we uphold. What Laudermilk allegedly did, essentially taking vengeance on a corpse, vengeance, is something I can't even fathom a trained embalmer doing. It goes against everything we stand for. We have strict laws, and it takes so much to get our licensure and professional codes for exactly this reason. And in fact, I was reading an article, this constable named Alan Rawson, who investigated the case, put it perfectly. No matter what one thinks of his life, the law requires that he be treated with dignity in death. You don't get to play the judge, jury, and executioner, embalmer, after the person is already dead. And in case it needs saying, you don't get to play those roles at all as an embalmer, ever. From a professional standpoint, this incident is a colossal betrayal of trust. Families trust embalmers. They trust us to care for their loved ones. Funeral homes trust their employees to uphold the honor of the profession. And here, that trust was shredded. The funeral home where this happened stated that a licensed embalmer betrayed her license and the trust of her employer. And I don't think they could have said it any better. We're also a bit angry on the industry's behalf because one person's misconduct reflects on all of us. Even if we don't want it to, it does. Embalming is often a behind-the-scenes job. The public doesn't see what we do. And they have to trust that we're doing the right thing. And when a story like this one comes out, it's a nightmare scenario for every honest professional. We're left assuring folks, I am left on the internet right now, assuring you that 99.99999% of embalmers would never do something like this. And I mean it, but it's like I constantly have to say over and over and over to compensate for one person's horrible deeds. Ethically, there's no excuse for what happened. Was the deceased man a sex offender? Yes. Do many people feel anger or disgust towards such crimes? Yes. I do too. But under no circumstances does that justify desecrating a body. By the time someone reaches the mortuary, the moral judgment of society has run their course. Our job is not to take out that revenge on the body. Our job is to prepare the deceased for their funeral, for final disposition, period. They are somewhere else where they are getting judged. Judgment done. I am there just to care for the body. And if an embalmer can't separate their personal feelings from their work, they have no business being in a courtroom. This case is an extreme example of that principle. Laudermilk's alleged behavior is the antithesis of what funeral service stands for.
I got wax on my finger, so my finger keeps sticking to the button.
It's also worth noting that even her colleague in training, the student, was literally traumatized. They reportedly feared speaking up at first because she threatened them. So she chopped off this guy's manhood and then threatened the student that watched her do it. Imagine being this student. You're entering the field for the first time. You're there to compassionately serve families, and you witness that. First day on the job, it's horrifying and utterly against what we instill in every new embalmer. Sorry, went on a little bit.
Oh, I thought she was gonna drop down.
Unsurprisingly, when the news of this case broke, the public reaction was one of shock, disgust, and outrage. The story made headlines across Texas and beyond, with some media outlets even dubbing it the Houston House of Horrors case.
Brielle turned her passion into a thriving business with Hostinger. Now it's your turn to take your idea online. Create and launch your website in minutes with Hostinger AI and get everything you need to grow all in one place. From domains and hosting to emails and 24/7 support.
Hostinger's customer service is the best in the industry, and I can say that because I've worked with everyone in the industry.
Build the website, publish the portfolio, launch the store. Just go for it. Go to Hostinger to turn one day into day one.
Listen to me very carefully, Michael. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to go to freetaxusa.com. That's freetaxusa.com. Do you hear me? Freetaxusa.com?
Nothing.
Are you sure? Dang it, Mike. Yes, I'm sure. You're dealing with over 6,000 pages of complex tax code, penalties, possible visits from guys dressed in suits. Free Tax USA will guide you step by step and triple check your information to help you avoid mistakes. Free Tax USA is the best place to submit your federal tax return for free. For free. Right, talk to me. Mike, what's going on? It works. It worked. It worked, Tom. Thank you, man. I owe you one. That's it, baby. Don't thank me, Mike. Thank Free Tax USA. Cheers, America. Make tax filing easy this year with Free Tax USA. All calculations are guaranteed accurate, and tax pros are standing by if you need assistance.
God damn it.
Kind of like the name, people were left asking, how could something like this happen in a funeral home, and are other embalmers doing things we don't know about behind closed doors? It's the kind of press that no funeral professional ever wants to see, because public trust in funeral service is so important, and this incident gave everyone the heebie-jeebies about what goes on behind closed doors. On social media and in comment sections, you can bet folks are horrified, I would say. I think horrified isn't even the right word, but they're horrified that a licensed embalmer, someone who is supposed to be a caretaker, could do something so crazy and cruel. Many were relieved to hear that she was caught and charged, but the fact it happened at all has definitely rattled some people's confidence in funeral service, understandably. Because if that student hadn't spoken up, nobody would have ever known that it had happened, and that's creepy to think about too. The funeral industry has been quick to respond in order to contain the damage and reassure the community, but to me the damage is already done. The Texas Funeral Service Commission, which oversees licensing in that state, jumped in and suspended her embalmer's license on the spot. They want to revoke her license permanently. In a public statement, they even acknowledged how bizarre and unexpected this incident was, emphasizing that it's not something they've dealt with in recent memory. I never heard of anything like this happening either, so that doesn't totally surprise me. And what's really unfortunate about this case is that it does make everyone look bad.
What the I wish you went to put your pad back in the day.
To pick up the pieces
no.
and bring comfort to people. So we just have to work a little bit harder to do that. But I think that this case will make funeral homes double check their protocols and maybe even remind staff of the obvious, like do not mutilate the bodies. As ridiculous as that sounds to have to say it out loud.
Oh, I didn't have a dash.
The funeral home where it happened announced they're conducting additional ethics trainings for all employees in an overabundance of caution, which to me this just seems like common sense of don't mutilate the bodies. But that's probably just to bring the public peace, because I think this funeral home still wants to.
No, I didn't have a dash. I forgot.
Discounted funerals now at this rate, or they'll close down. I don't know. We know this is horrifying, but we're on it, and we will do everything to prevent it from ever happening again. That was their statement there. Legally, the case is moving forward and serving as a warning that no one is above the law or professional standards. And as mentioned, Laudermilk is charged with abuse of corpse, and that's a felony that carries real jail time. She's out on bond now, so she's free for now, and if convicted, she can spend up to 2 years in jail, and you can bet her days of working in the funeral industry are over. The state board will almost certainly revoke her license. Like, I don't think that they'll ever give that back to her, because they don't want her to practice again, because who would hire her? And honestly, I think it's a good thing, because if you betray the public's trust in the field, there are serious consequences. And it's worth noting that the only reason this crime came to light is because those trainees, the funeral home trainees, did come forward, despite being threatened by her.
They have triple heal, no wonder.
To ultimately report it, but they did. And that's how it should work. Internal accountability and external oversight kicked in. So personally, let's close a little bit with personally here. As a professional who is dedicated to respectful funeral care, I have to say this case left me equal parts appalled and angry, because it's the kind of story that you read about that makes you double check that it's not satire or some urban legend or some Reddit story gone crazy, because this was real. And unfortunately, on a personal level, I feel for the family of Mr. Rodriguez. Regardless of what he did in life, even if he was a super shitty person, which it sounds like he made some questionable life choices, right? Regardless of what he did in life, his loved ones certainly did not deserve to hear that his body was violated in death and then cremated. They will have to live with that. And remember that. Losing someone is hard enough without that added horror. And I also feel for the employee who witnessed this nightmare. They signed up to learn the art of memorializing and preserving dignity, how to do the job, and all they got was seeing their teacher go rogue and desecrate the corpse.
No.
Footage.com. Get the biggest game releases of the year at the best prices. Enjoy incredible savings with up to 35% off new releases. Load it. Pay less. Game more.
Damn.
I can only imagine their trauma. It's in utter confusion in the moment, thinking, are all kids like this? They just do what they want behind closed doors? This case also makes me really mad because 99.9% of us in the field would never even imagine doing something like this. You literally take an oath of ethics. You're supposed to treat every decedent with respect. This one embalmer's actions have cast a shadow on an honorable profession. And now we have to work overtime to reassure the public. And that's what I'm doing here, or I'm trying to, and to be a bit frank and just a smidge sarcastic. Great. Thanks a lot. But now when I tell someone I'm an embalmer, the first thing on their mind might be this case, and they'll ask, you're not going to go crazy like the Houston lady, right? Oh, it's bad. And then I got awkward laughter and go, no, absolutely not. If there's any silver lining, it's that this case is so outrageous that it's universally condemned. Nobody is defending what happened. Fellow embalmers I know are saying, good riddance, get her out of here and behind bars. But the public now sees that the system did respond. The license was yanked, charges were filed, and she'll have to date in court. And importantly, it sparked conversations about ethics.
Hello, Amanda.
Maybe it's a chance to educate people that, hey, there are standards that we're supposed to follow, and cases like this are so beyond rare. Like, this is rare. In fact, they're literally virtually unheard of. So in the end, this Houston embalmer case is a cautionary tale of what should never, ever happen in the funeral industry. It's a story of colossal ethic failure by one individual. But it's also a story of accountability because her coworkers spoke up, her license is gone, and she's going to be facing justice. As an embalmer and as a sane human, I never seen a case like this in my lifetime because it's bad for everyone. It's bad for the victim, the family, the witnesses, the profession, and the public trust in funeral homes. And right now, public trust is already really thin with funeral homes because of, for example, the Colorado funeral home case. And then now we have the funeral home case, which we're going to talk about both of those cases here on this channel in great detail. But
why are you Squirrel Girl now?
Come from this. is reinforcing the lesson that dignity and death is important, and no matter who you are, everyone deserves to rest in peace, and it's our job as professionals to
I'm not gonna keep him alive for anything.
So, there you have it. A disturbing incident that highlights just how important ethics are in funeral care, and it's a stark reminder that when you hold a position of trust, you cannot abuse it, and certainly not when the person can't defend themselves. I mean, it almost made her no better than him in the moment.
It's because they have triple heal, but that dude doesn't want to heal.
Fiasco we only talk about as that one crazy lady in Houston in training seminars on what not to do. In the meantime, to the families out there, please know that we are not all like this lady. And you can trust 99.999%.
I feel like there's something in my eye and I can't.
Thank you for watching. I will definitely be following this case, and I'll let you know of any updates on what they do sentence her with, because this is, again, so crazy. You don't even think that it's true, but it is. Unfortunately, 2025, this woman took a scalpel and did the unthinkable. So, first,
maybe my eyes dry.
What do you think? Which case should I cover next? You let me know, and I will work on it. So, thank you for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, if you want to subscribe, hit like, leave a comment, and I'm sending you love. And we'll see you soon.
Dom 678787.
American Musical Supply is your stop for anything and everything.
Dom 678787.
Warehouses nationwide. You can get all the gear you need in 2 days or less. Add in 0% interest financing, along with an all-musician testing certificate.
I'm gonna have to play like with one eye. I'm thinking eyes.
Ready to see the AMS difference for yourself? Head over to AmericanMusical.com. You focus, right? You focus. Okay. Okay, wait, is it recording? Have you ever been lying awake at 2 a.m. and suddenly wondered, is grave robbing still a thing? No? Just me? Well, lucky for you, Coffin Crew, we're going to talk about it anyway. Today, we're taking a full ride on the Morbid School Bus from ancient tomb traps to medieval relic thieves, to Victorian body snatchers, to the modern-day criminals breaking into mausoleums in 2025. This is human history at its most chaotic. This is crime, superstition, greed, and a whole lot of necro disrespect. That's a word now, necro disrespect. So buckle up, because grave robbing isn't just something from horror movies or supernatural. You know, Sam and Dean, it's older than most religions, more dramatic than most myths, and in some cases, it's still happening today. I wrote this just for you. Here comes Morbid Monday, here comes Morbid Monday, sliding down your screen. Stories chilling, weird and thrilling, even Santa's like, that's obscene. Come along, my spooky friends, let's make your holiday just another Morbid Monday. Come get weird with me. Anyways, cue the intro right now. Okay, anyways, to really understand grave robbing, we have to start at the very beginning. And let me tell you, humans have been terrible at leaving dead people alone since the second we invented burial. It's not even hard to believe, honestly. The moment someone said, let's bury our loved ones with valuables to honor them, someone else...
Got him, yes. Yo, that was so good.
Gold and
Sorry,
jewels
Loki.
to make a dragon jealous. Their tombs were basically underground Costco warehouses. But here's the plot twist. These tombs weren't just fancy, they were fortresses. We're talking hidden corridors, sealed stone plugs, multi-ton block traps, maze
Yeah, 2026.
false chambers, sandfall pits with snakes, complimentary flooding passages.
Did my video say something?
2,000-year-old Home Alone house designed.
Yeah, it's probably an old video or something.
Despised grave robbers. And did it work? Absolutely not. No, it did not work. Spoiler. Most ancient Egyptian tombs were robbed within 48 hours of burial. 48 hours. The ink on the burial scroll wasn't even dry. And yes, people like to say, well, the tombs were cursed. Except the curses were just writing. The real protection was giant
Oh, I got it in the portal.
traps.
Oh, wait,
Had
what?
the keys, the
Oh,
workers
my.
who built the tombs. Which means the robbers usually knew the layout, because sometimes the robbers were the workers. So yes, humanity has been failing the rest in peace concept since the Bronze Age. That also sounded very Minnesotan to me. Since the Bronze Age. Do you hear that sometimes when I talk? Anyways. If ancient civilization gave us dramatic tomb traps and blockbuster-worthy curses, medieval Europe said, hold my mead, we're gonna do this differently. That's also why did I say it that way? That was so stupid. How do you... No polished stone sarcophagi, no golden corridors, just mud, superstition, and the most chaotic graveyards humanity has ever produced. Come on, glasses, let's cooperate. Ooh, I think I got them good now. Oh, wait, no, they look stupid. Well, we're going with that. Okay, picture a medieval graveyard. Shallow graves, no coffins, just a shroud, a prayer, and a mound of dirt that washes away every time it rains. The grave markers, a wooden plank, if you were lucky, and the whole cemetery, completely public. Livestock wandered through, people cut across it like a shortcut, children played tag between the headstones. In the kids' defense, I kind of also grew up in the graveyard too. We played tag at the funeral home. Anyway, and because everything was accessible in these cemeteries, grave robbers had a field day.
Damn.
Man, was there, was available, why not? Let's talk relics.
He switched from healer.
Saintly body parts, the way modern kids collect Pokemon cards. And I'm not kidding. They collected saintly body parts. Just wanted to repeat that. There were fingers, ribs, jawbones, teeth, even skull fragments, all proudly displayed in gilded requiliaries. They were in fancy guarded buildings. Requiliaries. You try to spell that one. That's a good one. All proudly displayed in gilded requiliary. No. Have you seen those videos on TikTok of people going into churches and there's just skulls and ribs and they decorate the churches with them and now it's a tourist attraction. Churches are making money even modern day. Requiliaries. But here's the problem. Everybody wanted relics and there weren't enough bodies to go around. So guess what happened? Priests stole from other priests. Maybe prayed about it, asked for forgiveness. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Churches raided rival churches. Pilgrims broke off tiny pieces of existing relics as souvenirs, like they were scraping Parmesan off a holy corpse. One saint ended up with 3 completely different skulls in 3 different churches, which tells you how committed everyone was to the bit. And relic theft was only the respectable kind of grave robbing. The everyday people, they were out there for superstition. Grave dirt, magical, corpse hair, that's a spell ingredient. Bones, talismans, potions, love charms, protection rituals.
Switch to Google Fi Wireless and get a phone plan that runs on America's largest and fastest 5G network. You'll get top priority data speeds and every plan is packed with perks like full connectivity for select smartwatches, VPN by Google, and advanced...
Why would you put it there? What is wrong with you?
It's wireless reimagined by Google. Switch to Fi today.
Chevy trucks are as dependable as the Chevy people who drive them. They don't need permission to get going. They all have that little extra something. And maybe you got it too. Chevrolet.
I should have just went back.
Everybody's got their hobbies. But imagine going to meet your medieval witch friend and she pulls out a femur like, this will fix your marriage. And then comes the vampire panic. Yes, really, vampires. Grave robbing and vampires, gotta love it. In parts of Eastern Europe, if the village had bad
They're
crops,
triple healing, none of them are
sickness,
diving.
spoiled milk, shadows that felt spooky, it must be a vampire. So they dig up the last person who died, looking for signs the body was feeding. Translation, bloating, blood pooling, or gas escaping, which was just decomposition. The body was decomposed, but they took that as a vampire sign. But did that stop them? No. So they'd cut off heads, burn the organs, poke, poke, poke. YouTube community guidelines. The chest with a sharp thing, maybe a stick, or stuck a brick in the corpse's mouth to stop it from chewing through the shroud. Poor medieval Janet. She dies peacefully on a Tuesday, and by Friday, they're setting her liver on fire because the village cows got diarrhea. Bad sense of character. With all this going on, families tried everything to protect their loved ones from grave robbers and vampire hunters, and the guy down the road who needed bone dust for a love spell. Protect Aunt Janet. They piled massive stones over the body. They surrounded graves with thorn branches. They put sharp rocks, iron stakes, or broken pottery just under the soil. 10 points for creativity. Some built primitive wooden cages over the graves. The great-great-great-grandma of modern mort safes. Others made fake graves, decoy graves. They'd bury their loved one in a hidden spot, then make a dummy mound somewhere obvious. So the grave robber would dig up the decoy, find nothing but dirt, and go home tired and disappointed. The medieval version of catfishing, grave edition. A few really clever families rigged tripwires to small bells, so if someone tampered with the grave at night, you'd hear ding 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 ding, which is not Santa Claus. It's someone trying to steal Uncle Jeffrey's ring, possibly his rib bone. Did any of these methods to hide graves work? Sometimes, but medieval Europe was poor, people struggled. Cemeteries were open, communal spaces. There was no way to truly secure a grave, and so grave robbing continued. Sometimes for profit, sometimes for superstition, sometimes because people genuinely believed the corpse was trying to get up and walk. But all this petty theft, superstition, and nighttime exhumation, it's nothing compared to what comes next. Because in the centuries ahead,
You caught me, that's
just
crazy.
steal relics or charms, they'd steal entire bodies. Now we
Why
enter
did
the
someone
era where
else dive
grave
with me?
robbing stops being magical, religious, or superstitious and becomes a
Which
business.
is sadder.
By the late 1700s, Europe, especially England and Scotland, had a problem. Doctors wanted to study anatomy, but legally, the only bodies they could dissect belonged to executed criminals. And guess what? Executions were down, which honestly, that's great for society. Bad if you were a medical student. So, doctors did what doctors do best. They created a workaround. They started paying for bodies. Fresh bodies. Unclaimed bodies. Any bodies, for that matter. And suddenly, the dead had market value. The body snatchers have entered the chat. These men called themselves resurrectionists. Cute name, fun branding. They weren't resurrecting anything. They were stealing freshly buried corpses and selling them to medical schools. I wish I was lying. And they were damn good at it. A resurrectionist crew could locate a fresh grave.
Oh, I got trapped in it.
Crack the coffin lid with a crowbar. Slip a hook.
I was going to save him and then I got trapped.
And yank the corpse out. All in under 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That's it. That is skill. That's crazy. It took longer to boil water in the 1700s than it took to steal a body. Everybody's so creative. So medical schools didn't call them bodies. No. They used the charming word subjects. We need 4 subjects.
I sold old to him so he could stay in, but he died still.
And these bodies sold for a lot of money. The corpse of a young adult, prime for anatomical study, could buy a resurrectionist a week's pay, sometimes more. So naturally, families were terrified their loved ones would be dug up. So they invented new grave protections. And honestly, some of these are iconic. Mort safes. Iron cages bolted over the grave, like medieval prison bars for your corpse. I know you've seen photos of those online. That's what they're called, mort safes. Watchtowers. Cemeteries hired armed guards who sat in the towers at night, staring dramatically into the darkness like a Victorian Batman. Family night watches became a thing. Relatives camped out over fresh graves for 2 to 3 weeks. The window when thieves wanted the body had to be fresh. And coffin torpedoes. This one is real. Spring-loaded explosive booby traps installed in coffins that would fire if someone tried to pry them open. Imagine being a grave robber and the coffin suddenly...
Oh, and then Jeff passed me in support. Dang.
Anyways, I'm not saying I endorse violence. I'm just saying resurrectionists had to work for that paycheck. No workman's comp if it went boom. Criminals...
So it wasn't my fault. Look, you see, 48,000 healing, most healing, and I almost had the most assists. I need to rest.
Cases dug into vaults, grabbing multiple corpses at once. And then 2 men changed everything. William Burke and William Hare Edenberg, 1827 to 1828. These 2 realized something groundbreaking. Why dig up bodies when we can just make our own? I just want you to know, I wish I was making this up right now, right here. They murdered at least 16 people, then sold the bodies to Dr. Robert Knox's anatomy school. No digging, no risk, just murder to table service. They even invented a technique, burking, where they might have to beep that word out, left them with no air to their victims without leaving marks, so the bodies looked natural and would fetch a higher price. Burke was eventually hanged for his crimes. Hare snitched on him and he got to walk free. Dr. Knox, the man accepting the bodies, said, "Oops, I didn't know," and went on with his career like nothing happened. That's the Cliff Notes version. And that scandal pushed the UK to create the Anatomy Act of 1832, finally allowing medical schools to legally use unclaimed bodies, ending the resurrectionist era. But grave robbing? Oh no, that didn't end. It just evolved. Of course it did. As we enter the industrial age, factories booming, cities swelling, soot falling from the sky like Victorian dandruff, grave robbing shifts again. This time it becomes less about bodies and more about stuff. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, people were being buried with jewelry, hair pieces, metal coffin hardware, silk fancy dresses, wool suits, bronze vases, bosses is the fancy word, and they were putting up this fancy iron around the family plots. And when something is valuable, someone will always try to steal it. Victorians loved fancy burial outfits, lace, silk, velvet. But these materials were expensive, and guess what? Thieves knew that. There were reports of graveyard garments. I like that, sounds like a band name. There were reports of graveyard garments showing up in thrift shops, meaning someone dug up Aunt Mildred, took her velvet mourning dress, and resold it. Imagine buying a cute vintage gown only to realize it came fresh off of a corpse. Vintage, but make it vintage, but make it too vintage. Smells terrible. Victorians also had an obsession with mourning jewelry made from human hair. Entire wreaths, brooches, rings, all woven from hair from the deceased. And with demand comes grave robbers, who realized they could make money clipping hair from corpses. Some even stole entire scalps. And I am being extremely...
better.
York and
There it
Chicago,
goes.
small crime groups specialized in cemetery theft. Actual graveyard gang.
Yo, what's up?
Cemeteries filled up.
Ta-da!
Graves were moved, reshifted, or quietly consolidated.
Alright. I did not forget to add you is what I was saying.
And sometimes
Is it hidden behind here?
the industrial age really said if it exists,
Or I should be able to do it right here. My camera's hiding it, I think. Hold on.
So by the mid-1800s, embalming became midstream. Coffins got fancier, metal reinforcements, velvet interiors, decorative hardware, and you know what expensive coffins.
Oh, so I think I need. Where's it at?
Steal the coffin, clean it, and
I need this ID number. Or where's it at again?
Tiny thing anymore. It was part of urban poverty, recycling, desperation, and neglect.
I forget where to see the actual name.
Industrial age, metal theft, coffin theft, cemetery neglect are still fueling crime today, and that brings us.
Where is it again?
Era where grave robbers look dramatic. It looks casual. It looks opportunistic. It looks like two people with a
here.
So now, class, we're stepping into the 20th century, the era where grave robbing became.
There's a way to see the actual numbers behind the name. Where is it? Oh, isn't it just?
Century of industrialization, the rise of big cities.
Oh, that's Arc Raiders I'm thinking about.
And the rise of.
Yeah, I think I need the actual name. 3, 8, 5, 9, 2, 9.
Giant garden cemeteries, acres and acres of wide open spaces with hundreds of burials.
Dang, we got a brand new guy, Spider-Man. We'll call you a Iron Man main because you have the most time here. Nah, your name is Dominic. 678787. 67. 8, 9.
Rusted gates, missing doors, missing keys, no lighting, and
absolutely
zero surveillance. It's like putting a big neon.
Okay. Oh wait, almost. Yeah. 6, 21. Dang, I thought you were a young kid. You know, 21? No way.
Remember how Victorian grave robbers stole metal fencing and bronze urns? Well, during the Great Depression in World War II,
now let's try and get back up there.
people were again stealing bronze flower vases,
6, 7.
iron fences, metal coffin handles, cast iron mausoleum doors. Some thieves literally broke into crypts, dragged metal coffins out onto the lawn, stripped them for scrap, and left the bodies behind. Yes, that really happened in Chicago, Detroit, New Orleans, Baltimore, Los Angeles.
Where's my camera?
In the 1950s,
if your rank is high enough, yeah.
the public about a new kind of grave robber, the crypt creepers. They weren't treasure hunters, they weren't body snatchers.
What am I looking for?
Just people breaking into mausoleums because it was easy. And once inside, they stole jewelry, wallets.
What was I looking? Oh, my camera.
Teeth. Could you imagine that? I don't even pull teeth at the funeral home. No, I refuse. I'm not a dentist. Desecration to me. But these people did it. Anything. So they
What's he crying about?
Cash fast. And in multiple cases, they moved the bodies to look for valuables. Some thieves even post them or left them half exposed because apparently people lose 100% of their brain cells when inside a crypt. So as you can imagine, by the 1980s and 1990s,
1980, 1990.
much more common. And with cremation,
Where's my phone?
can you guess it? Theft. People broke into columbariums, snatched urns, and took them, hoping, praying that they contained jewelry, gold, diamonds, or anything resellable. Sorry to
That's why he's mad. He stole Wolverine from him. Damn.
We talk all about the book talk community on this channel before, right? We talked about it 2 times. Let's be fair. 3 times a year out, Decision decided to take on that revolved around reviewing, discussing literature, right? As you said, that
None of these guys have badges or anything. I wonder if they're flex. Trying to play other people.
book talk. Of course, we know that this community is not as wholesome as it sounds, right? As
Round 1, go! 30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Multiplier scratchers from the Arizona lottery for over $270 million in prizes.
I cooked last game. I need Wolverine and he got Lord. Same team.
4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the flag, guys.
Who will stitch it together? They're in front of us, idiots. This is suffering.
Damn. Damn. 6, 7.
That was nothing for a goddess. My thanks, healer. Smash it! Stand with you!
The games we're looking at on the screen are often subjectively chosen as some of the worst video games of all time. But what if there are other versions of the game out there that are actually somehow worse? Versions of the games that people don't ever even think about. Now, since this is a video where we're going to be talking about bad games or mid games, mediocre games, I want to point something out. Because I think there's a huge difference between objectively bad games and boring games. Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 is a perfect example of a game that is definitely not good, but it's not boring either. It's not like I'm stuck playing a cloud or something. But the point of this video is to look at any game that was at least somewhat criticized pretty heavily.
Dang. I had 30 seconds. I thought it was less. Why are you fighting? Bro, these guys cannot make a headway.
2005, the Sonic team were looking at the calendar and they're like, oh, the Hedgehog turns 15 next year. That's a big anniversary. We should do a big anniversary movie. No problem. We've done a Sonic game or two in the past. We've done this before. We just kind of heard everything that I assume happened. I don't know if that's actually what they said. But the brand new PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 developer kit is a good point for probably just like fancy microwave video people or something like that. I don't really know what the hell we get this all yet. I just
I thought he was farther. I don't know why people don't run triple hill. It's literally meta.
Probably like, we're gonna reinvent Sonic. There's gonna be a big old story, open level, a physics engine, 3 main stories, 9 playable characters. What was that last one? No, we're just gonna move on. Okay. So after the release of Shadow the Hedgehog, or maybe sometime right leading up to Shadow the Hedgehog, the Sonic team was working on a brand new engine.
Oh, now you want to switch to heal as you're dead. Cool. I don't see why you didn't switch earlier. Sometimes it be like that.
The anniversary, we're calling it a reboot pretty much by just calling it Sonic the Hedgehog. The first trailer didn't show any other characters, just Sonic running. We gotta do this year, no exceptions, no delays. So the Wii version ended up getting scrapped, but Sega still wanted that Wii money because this was Nintendo, and Sonic fans definitely were gonna be on Nintendo. So they decided to put half of the team working on Sonic 2006 over to work on a new game called Sonic and the Secret Rings, and the other half of the team would just make Sonic 2006. On top of all of that, right in the middle of production, Yuki Naka, who is Sonic the Hedgehog's creator and the literal head of the Sonic team, left the company. It was started in the studio, they just announced, and apparently that caused like a lot of internal turmoil maybe, like when people were trying to figure out what the direction of the game supposed to be. I'm sure someone at the Sonic team was probably like, hey Sega, this game needs more time. And Sega was probably like, no, it's Sonic's birthday, you can't. So a lot of the game ended up being rushed. There was quality assurance testing that had a huge list of bugs, but they ended up having to skip a lot of them just to try to get the game to function where it was crash fully and it was being like a playable state. There are rumors circulating out there that there was a version of the game that was even more stable, that there was like a game running bug or something, so they ended up having to roll back to an earlier build that was like a month or two old or something. So that is never went into an update to fix this either. The Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 release, and as a kid, I loved this game. It wasn't good by any means, but I liked Sonic, and he was there, and there was a story that's probably a little goofy, and I struggled through this game because of how incredibly difficult it is, mostly because you're battling the game engine itself, not the actual, like, level design or something like that. I mean, the level design is rough, but, like, the rest of the game is rough on top of that. It made it challenging, though, and I kept coming back quite a bit. I couldn't beat the game as a kid. However, I think in 2013, I sat down and I actually played the game from beginning to end and beat it, and there's something there. It's not a good game, but it was enough of a challenge. It was goofy enough that I thoroughly enjoyed my time with the game. So yeah, it's a bad game, but you know, it's Sonic 06. The game was interesting. I only ever experienced this game on the Xbox 360. The game launched also on the PlayStation.
Be like that sometimes.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 had on the Xbox 360 version. Loading times were ridiculous. You would do something, load, a short cutscene would play, then you would load again, and then you play. Like, let's play quick to show you an example. Unedited, this is what it actually is like. Alright, so I guess I'll tell them that.
No, you. I called you. Yeah, I did. Don't worry about it. No, you. No, no. Let's watch that.
Me and you play together.
Yeah, I guess I'll play before I get on 2XKO. Let's play that.
You lost both of your legs. Think it's a cannon out here? What's going to happen to my girl?
When a teenage street racer taunts police, daring them to chase him at dangerous speeds across a Maryland highway, officers work to bring his antics to an end. Instead, one wrong move turns a high-risk situation into a full-blown disaster. The following is based on official police records, and some of the footage has never been seen before until now. On the night of October 17, 2023, a lime green Dodge Challenger pulls up alongside a Montgomery County police officer before rolling straight through a red light. The officer attempts to initiate a traffic stop, but it's clear the driver has no intention of pulling over.
Don't you do it.
The moment the driver clears the entry ramp, the Challenger's headlights and tail lights go dark as it picks up speed and vanishes.
That green Challenger that we've had problems with, I just have to take off from me. Blacked out lights 270.
Learn.
Hey, I'm not putting in pursuit.
But at just after 3:30,
You're the lead. You're the party leader.
and officers keep a watchful eye.
Yeah, we're at Clarksburg outlets, 270 south. He's just sitting at the entrance road and saying they're ready to jump on the 270 south, but we're not going after him at this point.
Well, girl, you gotta back up and come around. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's backing down the 270 exit right now. He's going to probably try to come around and do another loop. Let you know. I'm going to set up over here. Stay right here. 32, he's getting on the 270 northbound at the moment.
He's 1060 driver has a license on the other charges. The driver, 19-year-old Rafael Adolfo Mayorga, is no stranger to the officers, who now must find a way to stop
No. Oh wait, is
the
it?
situation takes a deadly turn.
Officers are authorized to
Ooh. You can't even play. What the heck?
not road flag. We can box them in. That'd be even better.
You're restricted for 8 hours. How'd you get restricted for 8 hours? Holy cow.
It's about to go very wrong. 36-year-old Sergeant Patrick Camp heads to one point of the highway as his colleague positions himself at another, both preparing to deploy stop sticks. While watching for the
No, you need to play more. If I play, you're not going to want to play again.
attempt to stop the Challenger has catastrophically failed.
But yeah, Dominic, you're restricted for 8 hours. Yeah, Dominic is ineligible for this match. Restricted matchmaking. 7 hours, 56 minutes, and 45 seconds, pal. Shoot, I don't even think you could play this game by yourself if you wanted to.
Sergeant Kemp lies on his stomach, one leg horrifically twisted and mangled, the other torn off and lying in the road nearby.
If you leave matches, that's probably why. You look worse. Yeah, partner, you're restricted. You can't play.
Practice versus AI.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I'll do that real quick. Oop. Before I switch games. What? Alright, playing with our viewer and practice AI.
The second officer, still waiting further down the highway, ready with a second set of stop sticks, throws them just as the challenger speeds past.
Yeah, you're in. You're right here.
He follows the car until it comes to a stop, where it's quickly abandoned by 19-year-old Raphael and his female passenger. They both jump the guardrail and continue on foot.
Get on the ground now. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Give me your arm. You hit us now. You just had an officer. I didn't need you. Why are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me? Third class and country. You said he's going to go to left hand shoulder. Please stay so much sure. I know you'll get the other one back off. I think you're playing the season to be and that's supposed to be a solid officer. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Look at him like that. Think it's a game out here? I'm going to tell you right now. He gets hurt and he's not, guess what? You're going to jail for murder. You understand that?
But hope isn't lost for Sergeant Cat, who continues to fight for his life. A female officer cradles his head, trying to keep him calm and physically stabilized.
We're with our head. When you fire us, you get out.
They're going.
Officers are reassured that a helicopter is on its way. Meanwhile, a witness who saw the entire incident remote placed in the back of a police cruiser, where he told someone over the phone.
I just watched the police officer get hit by Charlie. He lost both of his legs. I think he might die. Bro, his muscle memory was literally on the floor, bro. Like his legs are
Oh no.
perhaps his shin below, middle of his shin below is torn off.
You should be able to join back.
This Loki has me shook ankle, bro. He got hit, like, I think he got whacked. He got whacked when straight into the guardrail. I hate even studying on details, so
Nice, nice.
Ab muscle down to his kidney and on his feeling board.
Meanwhile, the officers who single-handedly apprehended both Raphael and his female passenger takes the opportunity to scope them while he plays back up.
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you what. Both of you officers are going to jail for first place on the officer. Good luck with that. I'm not for the game. That ain't what I said. All this time, so okay, so this is where you're at. You know what? I don't know about you. I don't know. She's going to be better than you, huh? I don't know. That's your answer.
Despite the devastating injury to his legs, Sergeant Cat continues relaying orders to his officers.
Walk off to the friendly stop. Got it all there. Got it all there.
I forgot how to play Deadpool.
Oh, we're getting on the helicopter. We don't see that.
Never in my life have I ever got that angry. You're over here playing when people's lives on this road, and you're riding with them thinking it's okay? And guess what now? You're thinking what's uncomfortable. You want someone to take that medical position that was going at? You think anybody's worried about the medical position? That's not my life. You come back over here and come. Idiot.
Oh no.
With the helicopter still some distance away, paramedics work to stabilize Sergeant Jeff's transport and manage his head.
God, I'm stupid.
Oops.
Yeah. Are you in any night? I'm away, obviously. You are aware of this. Yeah.
I'm going to move back slightly so we can evaluate you, but I'm literally, I will be with
Hello.
you and then snap you off that. But it's like,
No, sir. Any injuries on the front of your body? Not the neuro. I'm trying to get back to pain in my leg.
Quick. Still in the backseat of a cruiser, the witness continues to call about someone on the phone.
Yeah, he was running this bro. This driver at least 120, bro.
when I find out what hospital we're going to, who you want me to call? Anyone? Okay.
You're listening to him.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do it, you know.
Is there a spawn back there that I missed?
Female officer
Oops.
takes hold of Sergeant Kev's hand as paramedics deliver around the pain medication.
This is bad, bro. Damn, bro. Trying to get some done. Done.
Yeah, I'm almost there yet. I mean, I'm almost there. I almost have them unlocked. I'm gonna switch to 2KO at 2XKO after this, Alicia. I'm just playing with this viewer. Dude's banned for 8 hours, so we are playing AI practice, whatever.
Okay, I'm pronouncing that correctly. What's your middle name? Not who? Adult? Yeah, adult. Not who? Yes, sir. That's what you said. Not who? Okay, I want to make sure I heard you. You do have to deal with that. You're Jewish detective. So I'm glad.
Oop, so I can't fight Iron Fist.
I said that I did.
Let's save the planet.
I guess we'll just get down to like what
Okay.
happened tonight.
I'm not even listening to you. That's good.
Somebody else shares that earlier in the night, he went to a local car wash where others
Then there's some people that got money at their cars for something. I don't have money. Even though it's not 100% paid off.
So tonight, what you went up there to race? And is that what the bet was about? Is it always a race? Is there ever a bet about like I can get away from a cop or I can do it? So what was it tonight?
Tonight was racing.
Both? What was the bet?
Alright, I'm gonna switch to 2XKO. It's rank time. Okay, well, hold on, cause I'm switching the game, so it's gonna cut the stream off real quick.